Thank you for joining us on the Veteran-Owned Business. Today we have Geoff Weber, Geoff with Heirloom.cloud, right?
Yep, got it.
Thank you so much for coming on and sharing with us. So you were in the Navy. Do you mind telling us a little bit about what you did when you were in?
Yeah, I was an intelligence officer for a little over 20 years, just retired last week. And so it's been a long ride, and I came in the immediate days after September 11th. And so it's been a real honor to serve, and just some incredible experiences in those previous 20 years, and many of which are making their way into my technology startup. Would love to talk about that, but that's who I am, and that's some of the places where I've been.
Awesome. I love it. And so tell me about how did Heirloom get started? What led you here?
Wow, there's a lot. And so I would say it's almost like a question back to you, Cindy. Where are your memories? Are they safe? Where do you keep your photos and videos? And where's that picture of you, graduating from high school? And where is, maybe your dad has a video of you when you're a baby taking your first steps, and where is that? And even now, as you're taking like pictures and video clips with your iPhone or your Android device, like, are those safe? And then can you share them with the people that you love, and can they share their photos and videos and their memories with you? So that was, I will just say, I've been married for 31 years, and it has never been easy. And I'm not talking about the marriage part. That's got its own challenges. I'm just talking about all the different types of media that we had. I mean, we had the big old camcorder. We got married in 1990, and we got one of those as a wedding gift. And we would take video of ourselves on vacation, and young kids doing fun stuff, newlyweds, and then the media would change, and then eventually we got to this cool thing called the iPhone, and everything was on that device, but it wasn't. And so there was a really long transition, and I think your audience, Cindy, would really appreciate that the one pivotal event was many years ago, preparing for another military move. This one was going to be an arduous one overseas with the family. Much of what we had was going to go into government storage for years. My wife was a little stressed, like trying to plan out what's going to go with us, what goes into storage. She went to our entertainment center, like from the 90s, and she picked up a cassette, one of many, and she said, "This is our wedding video." And she said, "You need to make copies of this in case it gets lost." And I'm thinking, wait, what? And like how many copies? Like one for your parents, one for my parents? Like it just doesn't make sense. And so that was when things really got started. And then it's just really been a transition. My last 3 years on active duty, I really became what we would classify as an active duty entrepreneur. And so I started a company, it's Heirloom.cloud. We did test marketing, developed a prototype facility, and now it doesn't matter what type of media you have, within days, we can make it so you can enjoy it from any device. And that's what Heirloom does.
Wow. That's, I don't know if I had shared with you or not, but your question about where's my stuff, and I did not learn the first time. And this is going to sound horrible, but now that I'm not doing it anymore, I used to be a professional photographer. I saved all of my information or all of my images for my clients onto a cloud, but not mine. So, yeah. And so on top of that, got married, had a honeymoon, had all of my stuff backed up it was on my computer. It was also backed up on an external hard drive. I thought it was safe. Both crapped out at the exact same time. And so then I started thinking, what about a fire? You may have all your stuff orderly. You may have it backed up several times in your home, but what if there's a fire and you're not home and you can't grab it to save it? So Yeah,
And
you're
and that's what's awesome about the commercial cloud. And it hasn't just launched Heirloom, it's launched many very successful tech companies, because we have these replicated servers around the world that even if, let's say, Northern Virginia, Washington, D.C., where a lot of data is stored, were to take a nuke, that data is replicated in other places around the world. And so the durability of files on the commercial cloud, things like Google Cloud Platform or Amazon Web Services or Microsoft Azure, which many companies like Heirloom will use to scale their companies, it'll never go bad. It has 11 nines durability, so like 99.9999%. What that figure means, Cindy, is because I've lost a hard drive too. I've had a hard drive go bad, and it's no fun to say, hey, we just lost all of those files. But your files on the cloud, you're 430 times more likely to get struck by a meteor than lose a single file on the commercial cloud. It's just that durable. And so the CIA, I'm not revealing anything that's classified here, the CIA puts their data on the commercial cloud. They use Amazon Web Services because it's just that good. It's very safe, it's encrypted, it goes to just who you want it to. So if this is a photo that you're only sharing with one person, it only goes to that one person and no one can hack into that. Or you can share it with the entire family or friends or a class or workspace. And some you can give permissions where someone could reshare that, or you could say, no, I don't allow them to reshare it. They're only allowed to see it. And so this is the kind of fidelity that we're trying to bring to all consumers for all of your memories.
That's incredible, because I think, it's having your stuff safe, not only just safe from whatever happens at your home or whatever happens with your electronics, but also when you're trying to share it with somebody else, you don't want the whole world to see it. I love that, and having that that security is just incredible. I love that you guys offer that. Can you tell me a little bit more about how the process is? Like if I have video, maybe I have those little 8mm, and I've got some phone or pictures on my iPhone. I've got some, prints. They're not great quality, but if I have all those things, and I got, I was just passed down, my grandmother passed away a couple years ago, and I finally got a whole bunch of photos that she had kept. So they're old. So if I wanted to get all that taken care of, how do I do that through Heirloom?
Yeah, really simple. You go to our website, heirloom.cloud, and you buy a kit. It's $29.99. It comes with 3-way shipping. One is we will ship the kit to your home. It comes with all the packing materials that are required. So waterproof bags, zip ties, security tape, and then the shipping label, so that you can just drop it off at any UPS store, or you can click and have it picked up at your home. It's tracked and insured all the way to our digitizing facility. We digitize all your memories within days, and you just click into a login and you watch your video. So whether it's those 8mm reels or high 8 cassettes or VHS cassettes, you're streaming it in real time. And then you could say, oh, I love it. These are the 10 videos I sent you. Looks great. Please return me my old media. And so that's already paid for. That's a part of the kit. So the $29 kit provides the shipping to us, and then the materials back to you. You then pay a per piece price to get each of your memories digitized. And so we charge as little as 15 cents per printed photo. VHS cassettes are $15.99 a piece. You can put one VHS cassette in the kit and say, let me just see what this looks like before I send the other dozen. We encourage people to do that. And that's the way Heirloom works. Any size order we will entertain. We've been doing this since 2019. We're now coming up on the 3rd year anniversary of Heirloom. But and this is but wait, there's more.
But wait.
Yeah. And so Heirloom's running a Kickstarter because we're now developing our technology even further. And so Anyone who goes to our website, you'll see a big pop-up. Hey, you can save hundreds of dollars on digitizing with our Kickstarter event. Go to Heirloom, look at the Kickstarter. You can buy one of those kits now for $199, and whatever you fit in that box, we will digitize. Doesn't matter how well you cram it. If you stuff it full of photos or VHS cassettes, you know, I'm only paying $199, or you can buy the big kit for $499. This is like a tremendous savings because digitizing is an expensive process, and there's a lot of handling. People are surprised, like, I didn't realize I had 5,000 photos, and you're like, did you count them? Because like we do, as it runs through the scanner, it'll tell us exactly how many photos you have. Really fun fact. If you take all your photos, standard size photos, not included Polaroids, but if you stack up all your photos, 1 inch equals 100. And so if you've got a stack, which is 2 inches high, it's probably 200 photos. We charge 15 cents a piece. So it's like $30 to get that turned into digital on Heirloom, which will never go away. But with the Kickstarter, wow, you can cram thousands of photos into that box. Some people have paid us. We've had some families send us all their stuff, and their orders add up to thousands of dollars. But with Kickstarter, you could buy that kit for $499, and that's it. That's all you pay. Whatever fits in the kit, we will digitize.
Wow, that's incredible. That's I keep saying incredible, but it's incredible. That's a really great deal.
We're given a great deal, and I wouldn't call it a catch, but basically it's, hey, so what aren't you telling me? Like, well, why are you giving away such a good deal? You make a pledge on Kickstarter in the month of April, which is also Autism Awareness Month, which is a part of what we do in the business. We can talk about that later if you're interested. But during the month of April, you purchase one of these kits. The kit will not come to you until this fall. And so this is for fulfillment later this year. What that allows us to do is scale up a larger facility to then receive those influx of orders. It's kind of hard to grow slowly over time. Sometimes you need that economy of scale, and Kickstarter allows us to bring in thousands of orders for fulfillment in the fall once we have developed and trained a larger facility than our small prototype.
Well, that's perfect for me because it's going to take me that long to find all my stuff. So
yes, I don't know how many times someone buys a kit for $29 like a year ago, and we ship it to them, and then like a year will go by, and then all of a sudden it arrives full of memories, and we're like, wow, it took them a year to fill up that box. And I get it, because you're going around the house and you're emptying these drawers and you're cleaning the closets. You're like, oh, I found this one. Or like in our case, and I think you had mentioned with your grandmother, you inherit memories. And you go, oh, wow, these are great. I want to be able to share them digitally with the family. So I recommend all your customers go to heirloom.cloud and follow the Kickstarter. It kicks off this Friday, April 8th, and they can save themselves during the month of April. They can save themselves hundreds of dollars to finally preserve all those great memories.
That's awesome. So, well, yeah, I mean, that what you do is very important to my heart, because you don't, especially when you're younger. I mean, like these kids like to look at these pictures of themselves, right? And they're like, oh, I look good in this one, or whatever. And maybe even, I don't know, time goes by and you just don't realize. Like my daughter just had her school pictures done yesterday, and they had them done earlier this year, and she's like, I don't know why they're doing pictures again. I look exactly the same. I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. And so having those memories and being able to make sure that you have them, and that further down the road that your kids have them and your kids' kids have them, and to be able to share it so conveniently is just, it's mind-boggling that our technology has gotten to that point. And I know for me, even going through what I have, it's kind of a process, right? Like if I were to take every single print that I had and scan it, it would take me forever, like way more than the cost of what it would for me to do it through you. So it's a win-win for sure.
Yeah, we've had customers tell us that. It's like, oh, I'll happily pay that $300 digitizing bill because I was looking at a scanner. I was going to buy this scanner to do it myself, and the scanner was $600, and I'd still have to stand there and babysit it, and it's probably not the same quality that Heirloom has.
No.
So we would rather have you guys do it. You're the professionals. We understand DIY, and that's how I got started. I did it myself.
Yeah.
Because there was no one else to do it to the quality that I was expecting. There were companies at the time that would charge me thousands of dollars. I would send my stuff to them, and they would return me not one, but many DVDs with my memories on them. And then it's like, well, which DVD had the wedding video, and which one is the kid's school picture, and which one is all those voicemails. Like, I say voicemails, I'm a pack rat. And so my kids would call me at work for the last 20, 30 years. And I would keep those voicemails, and they're precious. Like, it's my son, who's now 23, and he's 5 years old, and he's calling me saying, hey, Dad, when are you coming home from work? Because the fish are starting to bite, and maybe we can go fishing this afternoon. And I'm like, he sounds like a little munchkin. Like, he was so cute back then. And I'm so glad to have saved that voicemail. And so where do all those memories go? And so what we're building with the Heirloom app is basically makes it really easy to put all your memories in one place. And so you would see that voicemail on your phone, and you just swipe, and it goes directly into your Heirloom account. And then you can set up your network. And so, like, my kids are adults now. We just took a vacation. We went to the Grand Canyon, and I'm taking pictures. My wife's taking pictures. My adult daughter, who's going to be 27 this month, she's taking pictures. And I just happened to be like looking over her shoulder at the restaurant in the evening. And I'm like, hey, that's a great picture you took. And it was like my wife and I walking on a trail holding hands, and from like the back. And I was like, we couldn't have taken that from ourselves. And I'm like, I want access to your camera roll. And she's like, well, have you built that yet on Heirloom? Because I can do that. And so that's what we're building, so that all your memories, and you could see, here's all of mine, here's all of my wife's memories, here's my son, my daughter, my dad. And you could set up those sharing permissions so that you could query and say, I want to see every picture that looks like this face. And it would go into your dad's archive or your mom's archive or whatever, and it would find that picture. You might not own it. It might belong on your mom's Heirloom account or your dad's Heirloom account, but if they've shared, they've given a level of access to you. You have all memories in one place. So it's not like, hey, Dad, send me a copy of that. It's networked, and that's what we're building. The struggle is real, Cindy, because a handful of our software developers since last year are contracted with a company in Kharkiv, Ukraine. And we all saw what's been happening there. And so we're a little bit slow developing the new features on Heirloom because when we come up on meetings, sometimes they're like, hey, we can't meet today. And there's bombs going off in their country. So it's, real world events have come home to Heirloom. Don't worry, your memories are still safe on the Heirloom platform. But as we're developing the code to build these new features, which are really exciting, it's a little slower than we anticipated to release the new features.
Understandable for sure. But that's, oh man, that total game changer to be able to do all that. And I didn't even think about voicemails. I mean, I do, when my mom leaves me a message, I do save whatever the last one was, because you never know when that's going to be the last time that you talk, you hear their voice. So that's, and I've been trying to get my dad to also, record something, like he's got some incredible stories, and he'll tell me those stories. I'm like, why are you not recording this and saving it somewhere? And somebody, like, I could even do it, write a book about what you've gone through. Like yeah.
Well, good news is you don't have to write a book. What we found with our older demographic, 60s, 70s, 80s, they have those 8mm video reels. And the majority of those at the time, they were silent. They didn't have sound on them. And so you see, videos of kids back in the 50s and 60s, and they're squinting because the light was really bright, and they're waving, and you're like, oh my gosh, there's my aunt and uncle. This is so cool to see this. What we're now adding is this feature on Heirloom where anyone can go in and narrate that old video. And so I've got my dad, who's now 80. He's done just that, and he's like, hey kids, yeah, this is the video, and that's the house where I grew up, and yep, there's your grandpa. He's got a cigarette in his hand. He always had a cigarette. And he's narrating, and so he's making new memories about the old memory. And so my co-founder and I, another veteran, we coined the phrase. We thought meta memory was something new, and we coined that phrase 3 years ago about a memory, because metadata is data about data. And now we've got this company called Meta that has a different way of looking at it. But yes, exactly, allowing everyone to like tell their story and having it be safe, protected, and shared with just the people that you want it to go to.
That's amazing. I'm so excited.
We've been busy, and there's no way that I can take all the credit. So I'm the original founder. My family's been heavily involved in Heirloom, but so has my co-founder, John Rahagi. John and I went through boot camp together 20 years ago. He left the Navy after a couple of tours. Ironically, Cindy, we went to the same high school, but we never knew each other in high school because I was 7 years older than him. So we were never in the same class. And here we are at boot camp getting, what you do.
Yeah.
We hold push-up position. This guy next to me, I'm like, where are you from? What are you planning on doing? Yeah, I want to become an intel officer. I'm like, wow, it's a small world. Where are you from? And we went to the same high school, and we've been great friends and now business partners since that time. He did an initial couple tours and then went into private industry, and he spent time at Facebook. And so John, our chief technology officer, quite the technologist, and he saw what was happening and maybe not happening at Facebook, and said, there's a better way to share memories. And that's what I felt when I was overseas, and grandma is saying, hey, I want to see pictures of the grandkids overseas. How come you guys don't love me? You don't send me. And I'm like, but I put it on Facebook, and the algorithm wouldn't serve it up to grandma because she doesn't click on the stuff that the algorithm wants her to. And so that was another problem. It's like, I'd love Facebook to be the solution, but it's not. It's a broadcast medium, and you're not in control of it, but you are on what we built with Heirloom.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So there's so many great things, I'm sure, and so many rewarding things with what you do. What do you love the most about Heirloom and what you do?
Well, I would say I love hearing from customers, some of which are actually in tears. And it sounds like a horrible thing. Like, we make our customers cry.
We make them cry.
No, like tears of joy and remembrance. And so I was talking to this woman, just say, hey, can you log in and see your memories? Yeah, I can see them there. Oh, great. We just want to make sure that your videos stream. And she clicks on this one video. And I said, so it sounds like it's playing. Can just want to make sure that it works out. And she couldn't talk. Oh. And she didn't answer any questions. And then she was all choked up and said, I'm sorry, I need to call you back later. And she was watching a video of her mother that she hadn't seen or heard her mom's voice in years. And she's listening to this for the first time. And I'm like, thank you. I'm glad to be a part of that process in bringing these old memories back to life. So customers is number one, but right up there is the team that we're building at Heirloom, because most of us are veterans. And
love it.
Yeah, and so we love the Skill Bridge program. So someone gets to do an internship with Heirloom for as much as 6 months and see like, hey, is this the kind of company where I'd like to stay afterwards and get hired? And we brought in some amazing talent that, not everyone wants to work at a digitizing company or do marketing for a digitizing company. But many are like, oh, this is so neat. This is so much fun. And so these these teams that we have, many of which are remote, I just feel like I'm back in the military again, and working in a close knit environment, for something on a mission which is so much bigger than us. Like, we just think about the terabytes and soon approaching petabytes of data, people's very important photos and videos which are on the Heirloom platform, and storing that well. Like, that's a really big mission statement, and it's really encouraging to have others on board. There'd be no way that a solopreneur could do this. And so I love working with our team. Many of us are veterans.
I love that. That's such a big deal for me as well. So I love that you guys are in the Skill Bridge program. Talked to one of your guys. Absolutely loved it. He had nothing but amazing things to say about his time with you. So it's,
Manny is awesome.
Yes.
and so a senior NCO retiring, we got an officer retired, and the relationship. And so you understand the Navy and how, like, chief petty officers in the Navy with their junior officers, the relationship is wonderful. You know, he's Manny, I'm Geoff, because we're not in uniform anymore, but it's the same kind of thing. Like, hey, you know, you really should be thinking about this. And he's advising me as a CEO. And sometimes it's things that are hard to hear. And that's exactly what I need. And he's accustomed to doing that. And I'm accustomed to leaning on and asking my chiefs to, you know, help me out, help us lead this organization, this battalion, or this particular unit. And so, yeah, I have so many great things to say about Manny Silva.
Awesome. Very awesome. So, I just love everything that you do. Like, I'm so glad that you have honored me with, or honored everyone who's going to watch this, the time and just what you guys offer. I think it's such a big deal. And not everybody realizes it, right? Until they hear about, like, oh, well, this, you just take it for granted. So hopefully this will help with that as well. Yeah. So
no memory left behind. That is our vision statement. And that is what we are all about. And so we don't want a box of photos to get flooded out in your basement, or a hurricane should destroy all your memories as it scatters. It's just, or a hard drive crash, or, you know, I really wish I asked these stories of my dad. I wish I had a platform for my dad to tell me about this before he passed away. And so that is what we're guided by. It's no memory left behind. And so for all of your listeners, Cindy, you know, if this is important to you, if your memories are important, please go to our website, click on the Kickstarter, save yourself hundreds of dollars, and finally preserve those old tapes before they go bad. So even if your house is safe, they don't last forever. They degrade, and we've seen it. And I just, do something now before they go bad.
Yeah, you've already sparked me, so I will definitely be doing that. So what would be your, and this isn't your first company, correct? And the fact that you did this while you were still active duty is just incredible in itself, you know? But what would be your biggest recommendation for somebody who wanted to start their own business?
Talk to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I keep coming back on humility. You don't have all the best ideas. You might have some wonderful insight. And I think I had some insight into some things that helped Heirloom become successful, but there are so many things I thought that were proven to be wrong, usually by speaking to someone else who has been there before. So reach out to your network, reach out to some peers, reach out to some fellow veterans, reach out to, if you'd like to, reach out to me. I'm on LinkedIn, Geoff Weber with 1B. If there's someone in my network that you'd like to get connected with, just reach out. Hey, Geoff, heard you on the podcast. understand you know this guy, trying to get a hold of him. I'd love to help you connect with someone that can help you go further, particularly if you're interested in launching some type of business.
Awesome. I appreciate that. And I know that they will all too. Our network is, you know, even after being out of the military, I just love like how close and how helpful everybody is. You're always family, you know. Well, yeah, thank you so much for coming on. Give me your pitch.
Yeah, no memory left behind. Preserve your memories while you still can. Go to Heirloom, and that's with a silent H, HEIRLOOM.cloud, because your memories are preserved on the cloud. Go click on our Kickstarter, follow us, buy a kit. You'll be happy you did. I hope we can bring some joy and celebration to your life when you're reliving these old memories again. Thank
you.
You bet. Thank you, Cindy. I really appreciate having a conversation with you, and hope your listeners take me up on the challenge. I'd like to be a resource to anyone if there's something I can do to help them, and obviously for our business, we would love to serve you.